Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Yo.
So, we're just talking a little bit before. We're not going to dwell on it, but we are going to at least mention that it did happen and that Hulk Hogan is, as it appears, no longer with the WWE in any way whatsoever. I believe even... You know it's widespread when mainstream media in New Zealand picks up on it. I think the last news story for wrestling that New Zealand picked up on was probably the Bushwhackers being inducted. We don't generally pick up the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, this is bad.
And not BAD.
No. Well,
do you think he can repair his image in the coming years? I think that's really the question that everybody's asking.
it's going to take a long time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If he does. I don't really know how he. I don't think he'll ever work for WWE again. Because at first I figured they would probably just let everything cool off, like they did with the Daniel Bryan choking incident.
Yeah.
And then bring him back secretly. But after hearing everything that's come out, I don't think it's going to be possible.
Well, this is Wednesday morning here in New Zealand when we're recording this. I think Tuesday night at you guys, roughly Tuesday mid-afternoon. It looks like a new leak has just come out,
and it was a homophobic slur this time.
Yeah. Goodbye, Hulk. We'll see you in 10 years.
I know one thing. I would not blame Darren Young for being upset if they ever did bring him back. If he got upset about it.
Yeah. We'll move into Raw. What do we got now? John Cena. His nose is busted.
Yeah. Yikes, that was ugly.
Yeah. Busted nose is sort of an understatement.
Yeah, more like a crushed nose.
He's got quite a bit of a displacement, so we sent him to the local emergency room.
Yeah. Well, Seth Rollins was able to do something that Rusev wasn't able to do, and that was crush Cena.
Just one tiny little bit of him. I'm hoping, since it's just a broken nose, that seems like, even if it is like really crushed, that's not too long of an injury wait, I don't think.
He'll probably end up having to wear a mask like Cody Rhodes did.
Dashing John Cena? Confirmed.
But yeah, John Cena's not somebody who's going to be gone for too long over this. We've already established that with his torn pectoral muscle, his torn tricep muscle, broken neck.
Well, with another person who's out injured, Daniel Bryan, he's just making a lot of waves right now pretty much by saying, if I'm misquoting him, by saying, even if it's not with the WWE, if they don't let me continue to wrestle, I will continue to wrestle.
Yeah, because he says that that a neurologist has cleared him to wrestle, but WWE is not.
Which is weird.
I don't really blame them too much, because the last time they cleared him, they gave him the Intercontinental Championship, and then he immediately went back on the shelf.
Yeah. There's also been different things floating around about what it actually is. Like, I'm pretty sure lots of people were shoulder, neck, and then he's like, well, it was just a concussion. So, I don't know. Maybe it's all three. But I've also heard Daniel Bryan Royal Rumble as a return time, which is like, what, 6 months away at this time?
Roughly.
Yeah, it's January. Yeah, about 6 months. Which is a long wait if he's been cleared by the neurologist already. He just might get fed up in the meantime. The Stone Cold podcast, it's back on the WWE Network, August 3rd, immediately following Raw. From the dirt sheets, it appears his guest was meant to be Hulk Hogan. But instead, he's switched it out and he's interviewing Tough Enough Judge Paige. I remember when they they mentioned the feud he was going to do. I'm pretty sure they said it was going to be like Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, I think, and John Cena. So I see why they're switching out Hulk, and they've just slotted in Paige, which, to be honest, it should be a good interview. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people complaining that Paige is a new talent and that she doesn't have as many stories or as much knowledge and all of that. But you forget that Paige has been in the business for a very, very long time. She
grew up in the business.
Yeah.
So, I'm all right with that. I would much rather have seen him interview Sting.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
I think we got to wait a while for that one.
But that probably would have given away in something if they end up doing Sting as part of the as a 6-man tag or something. That probably would have given away that he's going to be there next week.
Yeah. That 6-man tag is probably the most rumor-fueled thing for SummerSlam, I gotta say. It's like, this person's gonna be the Wyatt third member. Sting's coming back. We're gonna do something with this person. At the moment,
and we're probably going to end up with Big Show as the third man.
No. We're gonna get Leo Kruger's gonna come back. He's gonna join it. We got Bo Dallas turning heel and joining it. Who else did we have? I heard Marcus Louis from NXT as well.
No, that's stretching it.
I have heard a lot of things coming out on a lot of dirt sheets about this match. Though Adam Rose is fueling the Leo Kruger rumors himself. And I imagine, from what I can remember of the Leo Kruger gimmick, it sort of would fit with him. But I don't know if this has been a long enough time for people just to forget that he's Adam Rose, because the gimmicks look very similar. The only difference is he isn't dancing around with lollipops. So we'll go into our classic theme. I believe it is Eddie Guerrero's first ever WCW theme. I do not know the name of it. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So we left off, we were talking about the 6-man tag, with Sting's possible return. Are you set on the Sting returning thing?
It's happening. He's going to be on SummerSlam, and SummerSlam is going to be a 4-hour program this year.
4 hours. Yeah, I'm quite happy for that change, to be honest. I think with Raw going 3 hours, a 3-hour pay-per-view just isn't special, like, per se. I know we have the 4-hour WrestleMania, but with changing SummerSlam as well, I wonder if they're going to change the other ones of the Big Four as well.
I don't know, but SummerSlam is always supposed to be the number 2 pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Of the year. So
and then Royal
it makes
Rumble?
sense to make it 4 hours when WrestleMania is 4 hours. To bring more importance on it.
Yeah. I'm going to imagine it's going to have the 1 hour pre-show as well.
But
which will pull it to 5. With just a bunch of talking in the first hour, and maybe one match. What do you think's happening with Seth? Because I'm confused. He's taking on John Cena, which is not that's like the one rumor that pre-Battleground wasn't floating around.
Yeah, it's going to. I have a feeling it's going to be champion versus champion, both titles on the belt line.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins is going to get that rub from taking the United States Championship off of John Cena.
Yeah, probably. And it seems as though the rest of the United States scene, basically Rusev, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Ziggler if he comes back, is all in their own little feud now without the title.
Yeah, what I can really see happening is Rollins wins the title off of Cena cleanly. After all, John Cena has lost more matches at SummerSlam than any wrestler in the history of the event. So what's one more loss?
Yeah.
Then they do a tournament leading up to Night of Champions to crown the new champion. The finals end up being Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, and the winner becomes the new champion.
Make it a 2 out of 3 falls match and you got me. But it sounds like a great plan. If they'll go through with it, I imagine they will. It seems weird for someone, if they are doing title versus title, to be carrying both belts. And I don't think we need a Cena reset right now to put the main title on him. I think Seth Rollins is doing great with it. But I still don't know where Triple H comes into play for this entire thing now. Pretty much his entire... every single person he was rumored to be facing at SummerSlam is out. What else we got here? We got WWE 2K16. I don't know how close you're paying attention to the video game. Other than Hulk's removal, you can play as the Terminator from his appearances in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2.
Yeah, that was an interesting little promo they did last night.
I gotta say, I liked the video package, or the video of him recreating.
They gave the fangirls a little something last night.
What? What happened?
Did I skip Dean Ambrose?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not going to.
Yep. I think everybody listening has figured out what you were trying to say without saying it. But yeah, I like the small little video package. Most of the people they put in it made sense.
And Dean just played that role with them. It was funny as heck.
Dean's laugh should be in the original movie. They should just redo it. Those characters never show up again, so someone just make the entire Terminator movie and just cut out that scene. Just CGI young Terminator on his face, and we're good. So we'll go into our current theme. I know I got really confused about this one. I wasn't even sure. I checked Wikipedia. Wikipedia said it's true. Supposedly Michael Cole has an entrance theme, and it's a really weird one too. Cool Party, I think it's called. It sounds like the intro music to a 80s sitcom. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. How you liking this Divas Revolution?
I still can't get over the fact that we're getting 2 Divas matches every single week.
2 lengthy Divas matches.
Yep. Yeah, we had one that was 6 minutes and one that was 14 minutes long.
That's 20 minutes of Diva.
And you have noticed that the new girls have not lost a match yet. Whenever anybody is lost, it's always been the established girls.
Yeah. I was going to see if I could do up a chart of like how many times they've won and lost since their debut, but it seems definitely they're protecting those 3.
Yeah.
But the matches they're putting on, just good.
Yeah.
Good probably isn't.
We all got a little treat last night with Paige versus Sasha Banks. That was a really good match.
They're finally bringing NXT Divas Wrestling up. Oh, sorry, women's wrestling. They got to stop calling the NXT women's title the Divas title.
I still think we're going to end up getting a 9-person, 3-team tag team match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get a second Divas match.
A second Divas match. Is this one Lana versus Summer?
Yes.
Yeah. That's getting closer and closer.
If it's not that, it's going to end up being a mixed tag team match.
Yeah.
With Rusev and Dolph Ziggler involved.
I think they're definitely getting closer and closer to Lana Summer colliding. I guess they've fought with a cat fight before, but colliding properly in the ring.
There's a fish. Take it. Take the fish.
Why was there a fish?
Because apparently it was a metaphor for Lana.
Okay. There was a dog as well.
Yes. Dog Ziggler.
Dog Ziggler. I was trying to remember the pun. Because it had scrawny legs and other reasons. It was because it was neutered as well. I remember that now. Rusev continues to be quite funny on TV.
Rusev is showing a different side of him than what we saw in the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
You'd almost think he's the face in this feud. Which is the weird thing.
Yeah, he's definitely the funny one. I don't know, Ziggler hasn't shown up as of late. That's kind of hard. But Lana definitely seems to just be getting pooped on a lot. But yeah, it's Raw. I think I said this last show. Raw is starting to be entertaining again. I think they had a big dip in the ratings. It may have kicked them in the buttocks. I do not know what their current ratings are. But it seems to me as though they've improved the product dramatically recently. And that might just be the Divas Revolution.
Yeah.
To me, personally, it's slightly more entertaining.
Oh, yeah, Raw's been interesting, to say the least.
I'm trying to scroll through headlines here. Neither of us watch TNA, so it's very hard to comment on the TNA Global Force Wrestling crossover that seems to be happening right now.
Technically, TNA, everybody but Dixie Carter is pretty much wanting TNA to be bought by Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. They'll give up.
That was the idea about bringing him in, was to try to get him to talk into buying the company.
I think
which is
Dixie
set to go off the air in about a month.
Better get on it.
And I still haven't heard anything about a new TV deal.
I don't think they're getting it. I don't think they'd get a new TV deal. I think they will.
Then again, Global Force just did a TV taping, and they haven't announced the television deal.
True. Maybe it's a convenient takeover where Global Force will take TNS spot on. Where are they on?
And I've also heard that Ring of Honor is not doing so well on Destination America, and they're probably going to get dumped too.
Oh god. It seems as though every wrestling that's not WWE is struggling to get a foothold.
That's what happens when a company owns 95% of the marketplace.
Yeah, don't regulators normally stop that?
But how would you be able to regulate that? This business.
40% of WWE viewers have to stop immediately. And please turn over to a different network and watch that show. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of this is a situation where a monopoly is not something that can be regulated.
Yeah.
Because you can't control who's going to watch what, no matter how much you'd like to.
Yeah. And WWE's doing a really good thing right now where they're crossing over with TV media with the inclusion of Stephen Amell. Boom, segue.
We'll have to see. I could really still see him wrestling Stardust.
He has been dropping many a hints on the Twitters and the Facebooks, and Stardust is dropping just as many. There is something between those that'll happen.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be neat if he actually showed up in the Green Arrow costume?
Yeah, it seems as though Amell is trying to say, I'm not the Arrow, I'm Stephen Amell. And Stardust is trying to do the, I'm not Cody Rhodes, I'm Stardust. So it definitely makes sense to have both of their characters come and fight rather than both of their identities.
Here's an idea. Neville versus Stardust. Stardust looks like he's about to win. Lights go out, and here comes out the Green Arrow into the ring when the lights come back on, and he goes, "You have failed the WWE." Stardust.
But then he's got to shoot an arrow at him.
And then he takes them out.
Or his shooting an arrow at him could be kicking him, letting him lay down, and Neville hitting the red arrow. It's a metaphor.
Yep.
Boom. Mic drop. Yeah, I want to see Amell involved. It's no secret that he's a big fan of the WWE. He's entertaining, both in his personal life and on the Arrow. I'm happy to see him come in, as long as he can pull off a match. He doesn't seem like the type who would, a celebrity involvement that would come in and half-ass in a match. So that's all we got time for. It's been great talking to you.
Peace out.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio. And I'll see you next week.